I think this is the best opponent he could have picked, or he could have had drawn, to make it through to the semi-finals. So it's definitely going to be a close series. Both players relatively even or relatively close in terms of MMR as well. 200, 2300 against nearly 2300 as well. So it's going to be really close.
Yeah, I think another way to say it is that they are each other's best possible player to play against in the round of 8. I'm finding lots of ways to like make my casterisms today, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. So I don't know who to predict. You know, TT1 might be the higher seed, but I'm not exactly sure why. I mean, Avi's actually made it farther than TT1 has ever made it before, but now they've both made it farther than either one of them has ever made it before. So let's see what's going to happen. Our first map for this series is going to be on Gladiator. Now, this is a ZvP. There we go. I got it. On Gladiator. And so this is going to be interesting because there's a lot of different styles that we see TT1 play. He's a little bit all over the place, and he's definitely got a bag of builds. So let's see what he can bring out against Avi-Love in game number 1 on Gladiator for our first best of 5 of today's round of 8 matches. All right. Here we go. In the bottom left-hand corner, in black as Zerg from Denmark, it's Avi-Love.
And his opponent in the bottom right of Gladiator, hailing from Canada, he's TT1.
You want to know some cool Denmark facts?
Hit me with your trivia.
Do you know Denmark? Wait, is it Denmark or Norway that has the oldest flag in the world? Hold on. That might be Norway. I'm sorry. Look, okay, Scandinavian flags.
Somebody said that in chat.
Wait, did they really?
I think they did, because I was having a deja vu moment.
Did they really? I think it's Denmark. Yeah. Anyway, one of those, they're old, okay?
This is starting to sound like, have you ever seen The Big Bang Theory with, you know, Sheldon? Yeah, because they did like a show about flags, and this is starting to feel like that again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so this is like a deja vu in a deja vu.
Weird. Canada is not the only flag with a leaf on it. So I don't know any cool... Oh, yeah, they sell milk in bags in Canada. There you go. They have ketchup-flavored potato chips in Canada. They have the world's best donut shop in Canada. I don't know. It's all cool. Anyway, I'm a pretty big fan of Canada. It's sort of like America is the place where all of the people that Canada doesn't want go. But then we still call them Americans because the continent is still North America. And there's a good reason for that, because of a guy that found the wrong land. Anyway, let's get into the game actually itself. I think we had, let me see, that was Overpool start into expansion for Avi, and then Probe, who is TT1, did a gateway expand.
No, it was an 11 hatch for...
It was 11 hatch, you say?
Yeah.
Well... Okay, all right, thanks. This is why I shouldn't talk about country flags before the game starts. So I'm glad you guys got my back on that.
ZvP feels like one of those matchups that it has the least like build diversity, all right? That's at least the feeling I get, in that it's pretty much always a gateway or a forge fast expand into either a Stargate or a 4-gate Zealot follow-up into a very similar composition every single time from the Protoss perspective.
Yeah.
But it's also quite a lot of wiggle room for the Zerg here that will undoubtedly change how TT1 chooses to follow this game up in the later stages. Gladiator is, you know, one of those maps that I keep repeating myself, but it really feels like a Zerg map in every single regard. But we'll see how how it turns out. Yeah. The first game of the series is usually the one where players, you know, they send their feelers out, try and find out how where their opponents are, like mentally or, you know, macro-wise, micro-wise, whatever. And you know, we are going to have a little bit of pressure here coming out of TT1. That one's making its way behind the minerals in the natural, making the trade as efficient as possible for the Protoss player.
Yeah, pull back on some of the lings, so good control there. At least the doesn't get into the main. Yeah, the natural mineral line is, I don't know. I feel like there needs to be an updated version of the map where the minerals aren't just jammed against the wall. In general, you're supposed to allow at least some space behind there, but not on Gladiator. And I totally agree with what you mentioned about builds, because for the longest time, we just saw overpool forever. But now, actually, you're right. There is actually quite a bit of diversity. And any matchup where a Zerg player can expo this quickly against the Protoss is going to be good. But, I feel like TT1 watched this guy named Bonnet play, and he was like, wait a second, I can just rally Zealots out of one gateway and win the game? Is that what we're doing? And when you look at the total number of Zerglings, it's not a lot. And there's 3 Zealots about halfway to this base. Is there a sunken colony? No, there's not. And so let's see how much damage we can get done when all the lings are across the map. Well, not all of them, but most of them.
TT1's build really plays into my narrative of the first game being, or the first game in a series being the game where players really want to feel where their opponents are at. This is why he went for that one gate, or for the gateway expansion, as opposed to a Forge Fast expand, which is naturally a little bit more defensive, a little bit more passive in nature. So I really like the fact that TT1 chose to open up the entire series with a gateway fast expand, because it just shows you that he's thinking, long term, thinking about the entire series and not just game number 1. And this Zealot did actually manage to find 1 drone worth of damage. Forced out quite a lot of lings.
Incredible damage. Crazy damage.
That's actually quite a lot of lings coming across the map, and there's only 1 cannon and no Zealot to plug the hole. There is 1 Zealot. And
there's gonna be at least 1 Zealot, but next Zealot is actually nowhere near popping out, and there's no other cannons. Anytime you run all your Zealots across the map, there's a counterattack coming, or at least you should feel that. Kind of interested that this other Zealot went up towards the Expo instead of sticking around, because now TT1 is in some trouble. Now, probes are good, and he actually does have vision to... Wait, where's he getting that vision? Oh, there's where he's getting the vision to drill. But the gateway's going to go down. The lings are going to get through. They could choose to kill the cannon, but they're just going to run on by, and now you got 5 speedlings in your base. This is going to be difficult. Certainly some probes are going to go down here.
Yeah, things are not looking good here for TT1, as the lings are still alive in the main base, looking for more probes worth of damage. Going to see that Citadel of Dune. That's going to start spinning as well. So Zealot speed is on the menu here for our Protoss player, but again, the gateway at the front did go down, so he's rebuilding that one production facility. And this is looking to be a full gateway follow-up here for TT1.
How many gateways? 4? Oh my. Okay, well.
That's what you would expect, right? I mean,
yeah.
Unless it's White-Ra, then, well, he might be adding more, actually.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Oh, look at that. There's a 5th
one.
And a 6th one. Somebody get White-Ra. Somebody get White-Ra.
There we go. All right. I was going to say, somebody watch some special tactics builds. And it does not surprise me that Avi is, that TT1 is doing this, because he definitely does have, like I said, a lot of experience. Actually, both of these guys are super old school, so it doesn't surprise me that they've got some historical builds bringing them back here today. And I think this is a good reaction to having taken a little bit of damage, but also knowing that your opponent expoed super fast. There's a 4th hatchery on location already.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that Avi-Love knows what to expect. Even though he didn't confirm the gateways with his Overlord, he knows that there was no Stargate. And that is basically the only other... This is what I was talking about, that there is not much build diversity from a Protoss perspective here, is that you either go for a Stargate opening, right? Or maybe 2 Stargates, but still it's Stargate tech. Or you go for that Zealot, push on 2 bases. And that is exactly what he's going to go for. Bunch of Zealots making their way across. There's still no Sunkens in the natural. I think Avi might be playing a little bit too greedily here with that 4th hatchery already being planted out, as you pointed out, as the Zealots do make it into the natural. There's very little defense. The first Hydras are popping out, but the Zealots do make it on top of the Sunkens that are still morphing.
Yeah, and these are man lots. They're speed +1 upgraded. Those Sunkens could just pop instantly, but instead, just going to run right on by, kill the Zerglings on the ramp, and make it all the way into the main, and 5 Zealots in your main. Most of them very, very healthy. 1, 2, 3 drones going down already. The Hydras are here, but those are not very many Hydras, and they pop so fast against all these speed lots, running back into the main, completely denying mining. Now going to pick off these gas drones. We're actually even just focused down the hive. What? That's a little optimistic. And there's more and more zealots being rallied across the map. So don't forget that it's more than just this pressure in the main. The other bases could also be in a lot of trouble. Already some drones being forced to run across the map. And this main is finally cleaned up, but at what cost?
Direct damage wasn't necessarily dealt in that not that many drones actually went down, but yeah, as you are saying, he did force a pull, forced out quite a lot of units as well. And there's another attack coming into the third base now. There are 2 Sunkens and a bunch of units popping out to try and hold off the Protoss aggression. But the 4th base once again exposed on the low ground. We do have a few zealots holding the ramp there, at least for a little while, to try and hold off the reinforcements coming in to try and defend. But the hatchery is under fire.
Gotta move those zealots. He actually didn't have 2 of the zealots attacking for quite a bit. And so he will be able to take out this hatchery, which, like we said, was maybe a little bit greedy. You gotta kill the hatchery. It's got 300 HP. If this hatchery does not go down, this is a total disaster. Oh my God. He's not gonna kill the hatchery. Those idle zealots actually prevented him from being able to kill the hatchery on time.
Yeah, his Savage was about 230 energy as TT1 is slowly but surely switching to Dragoons. He knows that Lurkers are possibly on the menu as well, on the cards here. He's got a Templar Archives up as well, going to be going for Storm relatively soon as well. But that's a lot of Dragoons without any Zealot support.
Yeah, 2 more gateways on the way here. And I mean, look, there's just not a lot of much here. I mean, yes, he's got Dragoons, but those are going to die to basically everything coming across the map. Like the Protoss shields take full damage from Hydra DPS, so it's just gonna be like oh my God, this is it's gonna be rough. I mean, he gets a bonus Overlord, but it doesn't even supply block Avi, and there's this huge amount of lings on the upper side.
Oh, he's moving out.
I don't think he knows about. Yeah.
There's a massive gap in the natural. Now, he did have to kill off the pylon that was part of the wall to let those Dragoons out, but as soon as these Dragoons come into the natural, Avi-Love is going to pull the trigger as the Lings do try and run into the natural. The one Zealot isn't going to be able to hold the Zerg aggression off. And,
yeah, he needs to kill that cannon off. He's actually only targeting it with like single-digit Lings. There's a DT
5
here.
Sunkens in the natural.
And yeah, there's just almost no potential for counterattack damage. He's going to be able to kill off these Sunkens, but he's buying so much time for all these Lings that are just devastating. Now, I mean, the DT back at home is really the saving grace. So the Ling counterattack actually, you know, even though it kills a bunch of probes, isn't going to like end the game. What's going to end the game is that these Dragoons can't really do anything across the map.
Yeah, Dragoons don't really work well without any Zealot support. They're kind of a glass cannon unit, so even though they do deal quite a lot of damage, they take damage just as quickly. And as the Lings do close the gap here on some of these Dragoons, it looks like Avi-Love might need to fall back for the time being, but he's still on 4 bases. He's got 46 drones against 33 probes.
Yeah, I mean, the drone count isn't as impressive as the lack of probes. Yeah, 33. Now we're dropping off double DTs into the upper left to see what they can do. Now they're certainly going to get these drones, but getting the hatchery is going to be the real victory because it's so wounded from earlier. When this hatchery goes down, that's a big blow, but I don't know if it's big enough.
I think what comes into play here is the fact that TT1 still doesn't have +2 attack on his units. That upgrade is still only about halfway done there. So that is definitely going to allow Avi to stay in this game for a little bit longer, because I would be worried if TT1 came across the map right now with +2 attack.
Yeah.
How many lurkers does he have? He's got 1 lurker in the natural.
Yeah, it's really interesting that he chose to go for DT tech here instead of
oh, he's got
going
no
for
observers.
Storm.
No, wait,
you're right.
He's got 1.
Well, that's the thing. It's like he only has 1, and I mean there are no Hydras.
There's no way to snipe it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, like, if it's vulnerable, then that's it. But it's not. So he is gonna be able to run in on top of. I mean, there's only a couple of Sunkens left. Those are gonna pop pretty quickly because these are actually they're only +1. +2 is just about to finish, but it's not done yet. A little bit of an anti-timing there, but nothing to protect anything in the natural expansion. So with the upper left cleared out, the natural expansion cleared out, and the Ling's not able to deal counter damage. I mean, TT1's
that storm.
Yeah, in a great spot, especially with good storms like that.
Yeah, I mean, the Lings are coming in to try and defend, but it might be a little too late here. Avi-Love was playing a little bit too indecisively with those units. Didn't manage to pull the trigger as the Protoss army was closing the distance in the natural. And even though he is going to clear out the aggression, he did lose quite a lot of drones. We can see that the worker count has been equalized here as the DTs do finally get cleared out in the top left-hand corner. Well, not quite. One still manages to run. Oh, the other one was hiding under the overlords. But yeah, the aggression does get cleared out.
Oh, watch the main. We got Zealots. They're trying to snipe the pool. This is what you try for? You're going to do the 3 Zealot drop to try to kill the pool? Is he going to get this?
He might.
I thought they were speedlings.
50.
Ziggy, if they're speedlings, why aren't they fast enough to save the pool?
I mean, you're asking valid questions here. I think Avi was still preoccupied dealing with those DTs in the top left. And that is going to end up costing him that spawning pool. So no more Lings to reinforce the attack, or basically the entire army, whether he's attacking or defending.
God, these giant American continent brains. They're so, the IQ is incalculable. I don't know. I definitely thought that TT1 had taken a lot of damage. And look, he's still only on 2 bases. He's just now trying to expo the Nexus finishing. And let's see if that's going to be valid, because even though he was way down in workers, he did reset the worker count so that it was back to even. And you know, Avi's powered on drones ever since then, but that does mean that he doesn't have a giant army. He's got maybe 4 or 5 lurkers there at the Nat, and that's about it. Okay, he's got some Lings in the middle. Let's see if those can sandwich this army and maybe take it out.
Well, it looks like he's looking to launch a counter attack here with those Lings, as we do have more Zealots coming into the top left-hand corner to try and cancel that
What are those Lings doing?
He's looking for a third, but unbeknownst to him, it seems like he's going for that mineral only.
I don't know, dude. I mean, there's a bunch of Sunkens, so obviously that will not be a breakable position. This is weird. Like, both players are trying to attack the other, and then they get to the Nat, and they realize it's unbreakable, and they're like, oh, So these counterattacks and backstabs are maybe not working according
he's coming
to
in.
plan.
There's only 2 cannons, and the Lings do deal quite a lot of damage, but yeah, the Zealots do manage to save the day at the end there. One more storm coming in.
Cracklings just kill things so fast. It's actually
the Archon's in the main. He's dropping his entire army, or looking to elevate his own, lift his army into the main base of the Zerg player. There's only Lings to defend, and well, guess what?
He's
Lings don't really do well against. Lings don't do well against Archons or cannons.
Oh, he saved the shuttle. The Scourge exploded too early. Oh my god. Is that
one of them
not
connects.
working as intended for sure? I thought he was gonna Scourge the observers, but he actually didn't. Oh, he's storming his own observers. That's not great, but they stay alive. The lurkers will get cleaned up here, but there's not a lot of Protoss left out, or left over after that. Man.
Yeah, those observers surviving by the skin of their teeth. One more Archon still trying to fry the drones in the main mineral line.
17 kills on that Archon.
Yeah, but it was mainly Lings. So, I mean, Avi still is at 51 workers against 37, so his eco didn't suffer as much. If you look at the third base, he's not mining gas because he misplaced his Spire. There's like 3 drones stuck, so he can't mine from that if he doesn't kill the Spire, I think, because they just come out over on the right and they get stuck.
Someone call Freakling. Why is this possible?
This is actually going to be painful in the long run, because the third gas is what you kind of want as the Zerg. That is the entire point of taking a third base. Well, not the entire point, but that's what you're looking for. That's a little bit unfortunate.
Well, a comedy of errors. Well, I mean, one of these players, we will force one of these players to win the game eventually. We promise, guys. So, but I don't know. I mean, I think it certainly seems like Avi is in the better position, but now we've got a much more diversified Protoss army with a bunch of storms, more observers, highly upgraded Archons. Well, I say highly, but yeah, it is +3, so those deal a lot of damage.
He's killing his own Spire. He just killed his own Spire to let those drones out. So
yeah, because they mine to the wrong hatchery, or I guess it's not the wrong hatchery, but it's not the mineral hatchery. So let's see if we can break the natural again. This time there are a bunch of ultras, but we've got some crazy high DPS zealots and some storm behind us. So look at those storms. Feeling good. And these are only 4-1 ultras, so they're not going to deal a ton of damage against those mass zealots. And so finally, it looks like this natural is busted, and I'm sure that makes TT1 feel pretty good.
Yeah, the ultras pop in no time as the natural hatchery also gets focused down. TT1 is looking to close out game number 1 here in Gladiator, as the Sunkens aren't going to be up in time in the main base to try and save the day for Avi-Love.
Yeah, I definitely thought Avi's infrastructure, he had like 5, 6, 7 million hatcheries, super high tech. I thought he was in a great spot, but one surgical strike by our Protoss PhD, who just stormed his own observers there. TT1 looks like he is going to knock Avi back into the Stone Age.
I really like the idea of going for a late game ultra based composition, because this is something you don't necessarily get to see in PvZ every single day. But it feels like there were 2 or 3 instances of Avi-Love just being a little bit too greedy after dealing damage.
Ziggy, there's a Nidus. There are units coming to defend this.
No, the Hive is going down.
Look, cracklings are good, okay? Are they that good?
Yeah.
Are they that good? Look,
do we have any observers
as long
left?
as...
I don't think so.
Oh, no, he actually stormed his own observers, like I said earlier, so...
Oh, I'm sorry, I must have missed it. Yeah, but well, I mean, there's nothing to defend, so you could just hightail it out of there and leave those lurkers burrowed.
I mean, Avi's got 3 fresh bases. He did rebuild some of his tech. He doesn't have a lair anymore, so... I mean, that'll obviously be a sticky wicket, if you will. There's your Britishism for the day. But I mean, you know, Zerglings are good. He's rebuilding his Ultra Cavern. I mean, they keep the upgrades. So I want to watch him run cracklings into this 3 o'clock base, one-shot the Nexus, and then like all of a sudden he's in such a good spot. I don't know. I mean, TT1's still killing it, but he's only on like 1.5 bases.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very basic composition of just basically Ling and Hydra with very little support. No lurkers in the site, no defilers, no ultras that he was going for. And as TT1 is knocking at the door of that 3rd base, I mean, there's a bunch of Sunkens, and it looks like TT1 is a little bit apprehensive about going in. But I mean, he's got 5 Archons. If he just send those in, try and tank. He's got a bunch of storms ready there as well. I mean, he's gonna do it patiently, just chipping away with dragoons.
Where's my Reaver tech? Also, is there an observer in this entire army? Okay, he's making an observer back at home, but I don't think there's one with this. So there's one with the army in the rear group.
Well, we've got a bunch of ultras joining the frame now, and Avi-Love's army is looking a little bit better than it was a couple of minutes ago. But it's still, I mean, he's down 60 supply, and even though Zerg is kind of supposed to be behind, you know, I don't think this is how you come back from this big a deficit. I mean, the thing is, TT1 just keeps getting ahead. You know, he keeps taking more and more of the map here.
This is how you win fastest games and games like this, which is not the fastest game.
It's Avi looking. It's Avi looking.
Oh god! 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 Oh! Actually, a really good pull, but still not in time. I think he actually has one more storm left here. So,
I think he got 6 drones with that, 5 or 6.
Yeah, I mean, that's still damage done. It's 36 to 30, or 39 to 36 still, though. And look, he can't bust the natural. Big storms, though, on those ultras, still dealing a lot of damage. He actually is storming his own front line of zealots quite heavily as well here. The ultras are going to buy a bunch of time. They're 4-2 now, and does he have detection for that DT? Yeah, obviously he's got an Overlord right there, so DT's not going to do it. The Archons will actually pop here pretty quickly with the Sunken DPS tanking them, or with them tanking the Sunken DPS. But actually, he's only got half an Observer left. So if that goes down, then can't really... Oh, actually, the Lurkers are dead.
Storm drop. Top
oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh, yes,
he's got no energy. About 10 energy off on both those High Templar. I mean, an orange blip on the minimap. And I was thinking,
I'm
what's
watching.
that?
So TT1's on 1 base, and we've got 3 gases for Avi, who's massing ultras and lurkers. Oh, there's the storm drop we're looking for. Another 7 probes go down, something like that. Gonna lose the Archon to the Cracklings, but
yeah, a little bit too optimistic there
you
with
know,
that Archon morph.
Earlier on, I said we were gonna force one of our players to win this game, and I think I lied to you guys. I don't think we can actually technically do that.
I don't think TT1 knows about that base in the 9 o'clock. And sorry
Does
to
he
cut you
just
off
really
there.
have no idea?
I don't think he knows that. He knows about it.
If only there was a button I could push that showed his current vision. Unfortunately, there's not. Okay, so here we go. TT1. This is us forcing one player to win this game, guys. I hope you appreciate the job the casters do to ensure games like this end. Ultras are good. Are they good enough? The answer, I believe, is no. No, they are not.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Avi was achieving anything with that push there, because it wasn't like he was resetting the Zell account or the Dragoon account or the Ark account with those push outs. But at some point he would have had to break that contain, and it just didn't work. So I think this is the time that Avi-Love taps out. And
yes.
By the way, we do have Reaver Tech out now. There's one Reaver in the shuttle. It's not really going to come into play too much, but you called for it, and looks like TT1 heeded your pleas.
Yeah, well, if he could, if we could heed my pleas to go next, that would be the more relevant plea here. Look, how many mains does TT1 have to kill to win this game? We're at 2. All right, okay. The game is now over. Thank God. Wow, what a victory! You know, when they are picking heart surgeons to operate on famous celebrities, they first watch replays like this, and if the game looks exactly like this, they promote you instantly from a high school diploma to a heart surgeon. That's what I heard.
I don't think that's entirely accurate, but I'm gonna take your word for it.
Thank you.
Just for the sake of building
your job
a
as a
here.
good co-caster is to take my word when I say emphatic statements, Ziggy. So excellent job. Speaking of excellent jobs,
into Neo Transistor here. Begin number 2, by the way.
Yes. So Neo Transistor, I feel like Mutas and 1 base Reaver, super good on this map. Maybe not both in the same game, but I don't know what to expect here from Avi other than probably Mutas. I feel like if you don't go Mutas, especially if your opponent spawns at that 9 o'clock location, this is just such a good map for that.
I think you kind of need to wait and see if your opponent did spawn in that center base on the left-hand side, because it is going to come into play a little bit. It's a slightly different spawn. You do have to worry about, multi-pronged aggression there. It's much wider. The Arc you kind of have to worry about if there's mutas coming in or Reavers, as you said. We'll see. We'll see.
But how will we see that? Maybe by getting into the next game. Imagine that. Here we go. Game number 2.
It's usually how it's done, yeah.
Okay, here we go. In the upper right-hand corner in the magenta as Zerg from Denmark, it's Avi-Love.
And his opponent in the bottom right, in the blue trunks, hailing from Canada, currently up 1-0 in the series, he's TT1.
Okay. Let's see what mind-blowing strategies our players will employ in the current game. Are we just going to see a regular, boring overpool here from Avi? Because he did squeak out that 11 hatch and actually expoed very, very quickly to 3rd and then 4th hatch on location. I'm sure he should have lost one, but didn't. So maybe he's hoping that same occasion transpires again. Looks like we're going 11 pool. Or 9 pool. Ooh.
Yeah, so Avi is switching things up a little bit here, going for that slightly more aggressive opening here with a 9 pool. We do have both players hugging the right-hand side of the map. Now, TT1 is placing that gateway as if he's expecting his opponent to have spawned on the left-hand side in the 9 o'clock position. That isn't going to be the case. Definitely a map where aggression, both ground-based and air-based, is quite worthwhile, as there are 2 ramps you kind of have to worry about if it's, ground-based aggression. And I think TT1 is reading his opponent really quite expertly here by placing that second gateway down. He knows that a 9 pool could be difficult to hold off on this particular map. He is going to confirm that his opponent is also hugging the right-hand side of the map. As the Zerg is in the top right-hand corner.
Yeah, let's not give too much credit here, Ziggy. You're doing that thing where you assume that the players are like experts at 9D chess. I'm seeing the second gateway, and I'm thinking like, look, he has no information. Maybe he knows the player, but does he, that saying, like, don't hate the player, hate the game? Well, we might need to adjust that this game, because the 2 gate, it is going to be scouted as quickly as possible. Although I will say these Lings running to the wrong location is a little bit comical. I mean, they could just be scouting for proxies. But
I think TT1 is playing this series really well by going for that 2 gate. This is, tying into the narrative I was building since Gladiator, with TT1 playing the long game and, choosing the right build for the right, game in the series. I definitely think that going for this 2 gate was a very smart play. It was a big brain play.
For sure.
Not going for like a forge fast expand, because a forge fast expand could potentially struggle against these two ramps that are.
Well, the whole this is such a difficult position to wall off. Is either Terran or Protoss, and so the extra gateway A helps wall off, and B gives you a lot of units which you could, I guess, traditionally use offensively. And actually, this is a little bit of an anti-timing with him choosing to, leave right as. But look at that, he leaves the 1 zealot. Perfect positioning.
Oh no, wait, he's gonna get in.
Okay, yeah, he is gonna get in, but he is gonna kill off 2 Lings and maybe like 2.5. There we go. So actually, he should be able to kill these with probes if they try to get in there. And he's got another zealot popping. So, look at that drill.
Yeah, but
oh my God, TT1. Are these like flash probes?
The story is on the other side of the map, as the shoot is on the other foot now, with Avi-Love struggling to defend both the natural and the main base with just a single sunken. Now he needs to hold this ramp, because if the zealots did make it through, they would have probably ravaged the natural without too much, opposition there from the Zerg.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't run
the
zealots around the other way. The same way the Zerglings ran around. And actually, he might try to do that right now, because it's out of range of the sunken.
Oh yeah, you're right. The upper left-hand side, or the upper ramp, would possibly be outside the range of the sunken. So
exactly what he's doing here. So
but he didn't
really smart.
He didn't know where the placement of the sunken was, and Avi-Love was keeping track of his opponent's army movement with the Overlord. So I think going for the closer route, for the quicker route, or the shorter route, however you want to call it, was the smart play.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, we as omniscient observers can tell that, but it's totally different when you're playing the game. So now we're hidden where there's no sunken to protect. There's one in production, but it's only a creep colony right now. And so when it morphs to the sunken, obviously it loses that 100 HP. Let's see if these Zerglings can defend it. There's 3 zealots and the rest are kind of glitching down below, but I think they're going to pop this before it morphs.
Yeah, targeting that sunken, knowing that it is going to be the main damage dealer once it.
It's
got 2 HP. It's got 2 HP.
Yeah, he didn't pop it. So it loses 100 health when it finishes morphing. But now that it's alive, he'll never get up that ramp again because of all the Zerglings there.
Yeah, a bit too late, a bit too indecisive about committing to that.
Oof. Yeah, this is like
he's going to lose all those zealots here anyway.
Yeah, they get surrounded. He didn't leave them in a position where they were defensible against Zerglings. You know that song "Eye of the Tiger"? I think
no, I don't.
TT1's got like "Eye of the Hippopotamus" or something. The lesser known, lower charted song. I don't know, because like he almost killed that hatchery and then didn't kill the hatchery in game 1. And now he almost killed that sunken, which would have given him carte blanche into the natural. Didn't kill the sunken. And now late counterattack is about to hit. And what do we got? We got a couple of zealots there in the wall. So I guess that's good.
I mean, the gateway could get focused down. Well, oh yeah, he's going to be fine. There's so many zealots. Look at them. They're not letting anybody through.
I almost just assumed that
guess.
some Zerglings would just slip through because that's what always happens. Like at least one Zergling gets through. But I mean, hey, look.
You forgot to slather them in butter.
The most important part of Zerglings. They kind of look like lobsters.
Maybe that's what kind of lobsters have you had in your life? Jesus Christ, no.
Look, don't kink shame my lobsters, okay? Maybe I just like the weird ones. You know there's a such thing as a furry lobster?
I've never seen a lobster look like that at Red Lobster. Well,
okay, well, if Red Lobster is your hierarchy of lobsters,
I've only been
you gotta
once.
live a little. Okay, well, I'm so sorry.
About me only having been there once? I mean, is that one too many or?
Oh, it's definitely one too many. Ugh. Anyway,
I got a nice bib. I still probably have it somewhere.
Well, I don't have to use one of those to eat anymore, Ziggy. But you know, no shame, own it, live your best life.
I'll get you back for this.
Dude, you're the one volunteering this information. I'm the TSA agent. It's just like, so, what are you doing here? And then you tell me about all the illegal fruit that you have in your suitcase. And we're like, well, fancy that. Okay, so here we go. We got a more standard PVZ. This time we get a chance to see Corsairs. Imagine that. And it makes a lot of sense because, like I said, mutas are pretty good, so definitely want to head that off at the pass. But look at what Avi's doing. We're going into maximum macro mode. 5 hatches, 2 Evo chambers, 6 drones in production, and lots of Hydras, because of course we have to save our poor little overlords.
Yeah, obviously 6 hatcheries is where you want to be if you're playing Hydra, but I don't think he's got sufficient drones for the time being. He's got 31. Well, actually, maybe he does. But yeah, 6 hatcheries. 6 hatcheries is where you want to be if you're playing Hydra, I suppose.
I think TT1 messed up. He's actually built more than 36 workers for the first time in his career as a gamer. I'm not sure why he would ever build this many workers.
Didn't he go over 36 in game number 1?
No, yeah, I think he had 32 permanently in that last game.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it was like 36 or whatever. But ha ha ha, funny meme.
The Corsairs are AFK. One of them getting very low there. Down to 18 HP.
He still only has 2, and if you see that your opponent's holding on 2 Corsairs, like, you know, there's tech switch is not impossible, but the big thing is that you definitely need some units coming up here. We're sitting at 33 workers out of a total of 46 supply. So at some point, Avi-Love will have to build attacking units.
Yeah, it looks like Avi is once again skimping out on defense in the third base. Only one sunken there and try and cover those bases, but the Lings need to buy some time. There's one more sunken morphing there. The one does get focused by the zealots. I mean, there's still 7 zealots remaining, 6 left. There's only one sunken as it falls now. The Corsairs now have free reign of the overlords at the third base. One more Hydras coming in to try and bolster the defense there, but the zealots are still standing strong. And ultimately, he's probably going to hold it off, but you know, he's taking quite a lot of unnecessary damage that he could have avoided just by being a little bit less greedy.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch TT1 almost kill another hatchery. But yeah, this one was a little bit less likely. That is the 6th hatchery. I actually thought it was 5, but no, it's 6. And is he gonna kill the Overlord? Nope, just kidding. He survives 118 HP Corsair and not a lot else. So miracles happen when you believe as a Zerg player.
He's going in once again, and the Overlord survives with 12 HP.
Oh, he almost kills the Overlord. I love it. TT1, man, I don't know if like somebody just like, I don't know, if there's like a bonus objective to leave as many units as possible that you need to kill at 1 HP, but he's gonna get that achievement, okay? If Blizzard had decided to put StarCraft on Steam, that would definitely be one of them.
I don't think it's ever going to happen, but you know, here's hoping. More and more zealots coming into the third base as TT1 isn't quite done with his aggression just yet.
You you ever hear that legend of the Gateway Man, Ziggy? I think we found him. He's here. He's in our game.
7 gateways, as he's only just now adding his Robo.
Yeah, how many gateways does it take for a Protoss player to win a game, Ziggy?
Well, I hope that this question gets answered here today.
Yeah, is it 8? Is it 7? We're about to find out, okay? Here we go. This is the effect of 7 gateways on a game of StarCraft 1. So the Zealots are running around. They're only
Where's
plus
Avi?
1. Avi is actually turning around from his Ling counterattack. Okay, I think we found the right number of gateways.
Oh,
Ziggy.
he's struggling to get back up into his own base as the ramp is being held by the Zealots.
I think we know how many gateways it takes to win a game now. This is so much damage. I'm so surprised that he is able to do all of this. The Hydra's firing from low ground to high ground, by the way, so they're going to have that mischance. And obviously that will be quite tragic when trying to kill units that never die.
Units that never die, and when they do, they get put in Dragoons instead, or something like that. I'm not very good at lore. So
it's okay. It's a multiplayer. It's like a 5v5 game, so you don't have to be good at it.
28 workers. He lost his Hydra Den. He lost his static defense as well. Quite a lot of damage being dealt here by our Canadian player, who's now taking his 3rd base. It is being saturated. He's up to 50 probes. Now remember, he's got 2 full just spinning away. 1-1 done already, plus 2 attack. About to finish in like 35 seconds, I reckon. He is thinking of switching now. He's got those High Templar with Storm. He's got a bunch of Archons as well. Now starting to add Dragoons to the composition as well, in case Lurkers do join the fray.
I love how he actually gets 2 more drones with that Zealot. That's hilarious to me. This whole thing has just got me rolling on the floor laughing, Ziggy. I promise. IRL. Oh, damn, there's a camera on me. Never mind.
You're on camera. Yeah, I was just about to point out.
You ever see it? What was that meme where, like, the bully's holding the nerd, and the nerd's just like, I'll mess you up, haha. And then it's like, well, this is what happens when he forgets he's in real life. That's me, for sure. Okay, some storms actually do feel quite a bit on the high ground. Oh my god, he's got endless storm energy and an Archon. Where does he get all of these gateway units?
Well, he's got 7 gateways, so I think that should answer your question.
Hey, you figured it out, Ziggy.
Yep. We got his secret. We can now make a clickbait
how many
article.
storms does he have? He brought like 8 High Templar with this push. That's hilarious.
He's still got 5 left.
I love how he storms the 2 Hydralisks. Oh, the ultimate Protoss teabag. Oh my god. Okay, well, thank you, TT1, for more gracefully winning game number 2. And now putting him on match point against Avi-Love.
It felt like Avi-Love once again lost to his own greed. Or with that first attack at the 3rd base, where he didn't have the Sunkens ready in time to try and defend. And then, it was like a domino effect. Things just kept falling apart. All going back to that very first
the
TT1
domino
attack.
effect.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's more like the butterfly effect, where I need to get amnesia in order to forget that game. I did successfully predict the outcome of at least these 2 games in my BSL8 prediction bracket. So let's see if I get these right. Day number 1 of the playoffs was not kind to my prediction bracket, but I can still be saved by these 2 best of 5s. So let's see what happens in the next game, which will be on. Hold on, I need to open this up. Or Zero can just tell me. Neo Sylphid is the map, and so I will get into that game, and we'll see what happens when we have each different permutation of map. Actually, I guess this is also a 3-player map. Never mind.
Yeah.
But I think the lesson to learn out of that game is that at some point you need to build attacking units to defend, and that perhaps the best offense is a good defense, right, Ziggy?
That's what they say, I hear.
That's right.
That's what they say.
They say it for a good reason.
I think it's down to TT1. I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of build he goes for here, because again, I think he's playing the long game because he knows that this is a best of 5, and it's not just about winning, game number 1 or game number 2. He needs to win 3 games to get through to the round of 4. And so far, his build choices have been on point. We'll see if he switches things up here on Neo Sylphid, or if he sticks to his tried and trusted gateway openings that have so far awarded him those 2 games in the best of 5.
Okay, and here we are in game number 3, match point, elimination point for this guy at the 12 o'clock location in the black as Zerg. It is Avi-Love.
His opponent in the bottom right, representing Canada. He's 1 game away from the round of 4. He's TT1.
Okay, all right, TT1, 2-0 so far, and I think we figured it out. Hold on, I wrote it down in my list of Protoss build orders here. I wrote nothing else except a giant number 7, and I believe that's the number of gateways it takes to win a game of StarCraft. So let's see if TT1 has remembered that in between the last game and this game, and can once again use his ability to count with almost all of his fingers to win himself a 3rd game and advance on to the semifinals of BSL Season 8.
So both Gladiator and Neo Transistor were maps that, historically have favored Zerg a little bit, even if, ever so slightly. And Sylphid had a very similar problem initially when it came out, in that Protoss couldn't really play on it too well. But obviously we are on Neo Sylphid. That map has been fixed. Some of the issues have been addressed, and if TT1 did so well on maps that historically did favor Zerg, then I really fear for Avi here when going up against TT1 on a map that is quite well balanced. It's hailed as one of the most balanced maps we've had in recent history.
Yeah. Now let's see what happens when it comes to the opening builds here, because once again it's a gateway expand, but it's only 1 gateway so far, and the drone scout is going to confirm that. So all of a sudden Avi-Love knows he's not going to have 18 zealots in his natural yet. And I say yet because
it's like we're back to the drawing board. We're back to Gladiator, both players going for the very same builds they went for in game number 1. So it looks like TT1 does like to apply pressure in the early game, doesn't go for that passive forge fast expansion.
Yeah, what are you gonna see? It used to be that you would forge fast expand, and then if your opponent got greedy, you cannon rush him. And even though we did have, I think, 1 good cannon rush, maybe it was 2, I think it's probably 1 good cannon rush. For every 1 good cannon rush, there's like 25 that don't work. So yeah, like that he's getting proactive, and we'll have a zealot coming out here. And yeah, I wonder what the Protoss win rate would be if you if you gave zealots to the other 2 races and then gave Protoss the ability to make like Zerglings and Marines. I'll bet it would be astronomically low.
I'm struggling to follow the narrative. What you mean? Protoss can't make. Good. Okay, yeah, I concur. Yeah.
There you go. Okay, all right. Wow, we did it. We solved it, guys. Okay, here we go. Zerglings coming across the map. There is 8 of them. And there's only 1 poor innocent zealot. Okay, now there's 2. Never mind. He's gonna get 1 probe. He's gonna get another probe. He's gonna get another one. Yep, that's 3 probes running by. Where my cannons at? Ooh, nowhere. Forward just finishing, and now there's 5 lings in the main. But the last time there were 5 lings in the main, TT1 won the game. So let's see if he can do it again.
I mean, the one saving grace here is that they don't have speed, and speed is still about, what, 50 seconds away, maybe a bit less than that. So, TT1 doesn't want to lose that zealot. Yeah, that's a nice nuke to put it in. But again, this is problematic because you kind of need to address these lings, right? If they're left unchecked, they are going to kill your entire mineral line.
Wow, he really did lose that zealot. That's not great. Ooh, good job glitching out that Zergling, taking it out. Now there's only 2 little lings in the main and cannon at the natural, so no more gonna trickle in But let's see if he can snipe another probe. Gets it. Wow. Two very, very annoying links left over in the main.
At the same time, Avi-Love is playing that greedy game he has shown to like.
He's going to lose his pylon in the main.
Nah, it can't happen. He's going to lose a probe, though.
Oh my god, that's like
painful. And another one, and another one gets picked off. Oof.
The DJ Khaled probe. Nice. Wow, those are definitely MVP Zerglings. And off the back of that, we've got a third hatchery up on location, just now being scouted by TT1's Dastardly probe. We'll see that third coming up, and doesn't like it. Where are my gateways? Throw him down. Well, he's got to... Okay, so he clears out that last Zergling, and I think it's time for Gateway Man.
I mean, there's still quite a lot of freedom that Avi-Love managed to buy himself with that single link. The Cybercourt has only just been put down by the Protoss player, so even if there's aggression on the cards, it's still quite a long ways away. As there's a fourth hatchery being built in the natural, no more tech, as Avi-Love is still pumping those drones out.
Yeah. A couple more hatcheries coming down. So it looks like we are going to have a 5-hatch Hydra style, which is not incredibly different. He might go up to 6 hatches like he has before, but I think definitely after that last game, he will need a little bit better defense at his, especially third base.
Yeah, you always expect to have 6 hatcheries when you're playing, macro Hydras, but the 6 hatchery was put down a little bit too quickly, I think, on Neo Transistor, a little bit too optimistically. And once again, we've got links coming into the third base, and there is no defense to speak of. A third Zealot has just made it across the map. It's barely alive. It's down to 5 HP and no shields, but the Sunken is going to get focused down. It's going to get cancelled. And Avi-Love has been pushed back off his third base. Now, the links do manage to come in to try and clean up the Zealots. Nonetheless, it is, damage that you don't necessarily need to be taking here as Avi-Love. Just needs to dial down on the greed a little bit.
I mean, TT1 didn't actually get, that much done from the third base. Lost those Zealots, and now behind this, where are my gateways? Okay, there they are. Okay, so there's 4 gates coming up in the main. Probably 3 more to follow, or 2 more to follow. We didn't lose our gateway in the wall yet. And if you look at all the bases, there's double Sunkens in the natural, double Sunkens at third base. And I imagine when he takes another base here, he'll put maybe a Sunken there too. So at least Avi is kind of playing more defensively, but that does take a hit to his worker count because he obviously has to build all of those. So still at only 31 to 40.
It's just basically a pitch perfect reconstruction of the game on Gladiator, save for that one gateway that didn't get picked off in the natural. But everything else looking very similar. We've got the 6th gateway on the way as well, so special tactics territory here, as TT1 will be applying quite a lot, but he's got a 7th gateway on the way as well, so that magic number is going to come into play once again. There's going to be a lot of Zealots coming out.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, the Overlord thankfully can see that. Spoiler, Overlord. But yeah, there's the 7th gateway about to finish up, and when it does, I think we all know what happens then.
I mean,
so
Avi-Love is... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to talk about the 8 Zealots running across the map, but it's actually 10 Zealots, so go ahead.
Yeah, I was just about to say that Avi-Love is respecting this a little bit more than he was on Gladiator. He doesn't have that full hatchery up just yet. He did invest in 3 Sunkens at the third base, and there's 4 in the natural, so he's definitely switching things up here a little bit. And the Zealots don't manage to break through, so TT1's aggression isn't finding the same kind of purchase it did on Gladiator and then on Neo Transistor. So.
Well, I mean, look, you forced out 4 Sunkens at the third base. There's literally like 3 probes mining, or 3 drones mining there. So, maybe that's mission accomplished. So now let's try to hit the natural expansion. There's 4 Sunken colonies here. What is he worried about, like a Terran bust or something? This is crazy. He forced out 8 Sunkens. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Is it though? I think it's,
I mean, look, if you know it's coming, you might as well defend. So it's not crazy in this situation, but normally that would be way overkill if you didn't know you were playing against Captain Super Gateway Man.
So the forward base has only just been put down by our Zerg player. He's really respecting the capabilities of our Protoss player here. Much more on Neo Silphid. The upgrades do seem a little bit delayed for our Zerg player as well. +1 only about to finish. +1 armor only about to finish for his units. We've got the first lurkers now joining the fray as well. And it looks like Avi-Love is safe on all fronts. There's no breaking this natural, no breaking the third base either. And he's still on 2 bases, the Protoss is. So, the 7 gateway aggression that he relied upon all throughout the series isn't finding the same kind of purchase this time around.
No. I love that in response to Sunken Man, TT1 is going for Reavers. He just is about to finish his first one. There it is. And he's already got the shuttle out. So here we go. Let's see how effective that's going to be. Lurkers pushing forward, no observer. And so that means either everything...
They can get trapped.
Yeah, almost is going to sandwich that. Lurkers running forward, burrowing. Ooh, TT1 finds his way away from there. And where is that Reaver? Just out getting in the shuttle. Headed across the map.
Yeah, as soon as that Reaver joins the fray, Avi-Love will need to try and break out, and the sooner he does that, the better. Oh, there's no support for the Dragoons. They're going to get surrounded by the Lings at the natural. The Zealots are now coming in from the left-hand side, but a bunch of Dragoons will go down nonetheless.
Yeah, the big thing is this Reaver, though. I mean, that's just going to nullify the Sunken defense. Obviously, you can still spam Sunkens to slow down the Reaver. It is just 1 Reaver. And in the meantime, Avi is trying to tech as fast as possible to Hive units. He's building a Hydra Den. Did he lose his... Oh, wow, I guess he just didn't have it.
Yeah, it wasn't... No, it wasn't the natural as part of the war and got picked off by the Dragoons.
So that was taken out.
That. Yeah.
Yep, but until he rebuilds it, he can't build any Hydras. He needs to build units. And even his Zerglings don't have the Adrenal upgrade yet, so they will not...
finish.
It's got like 15 seconds left. Yeah. Okay, let's... But it will finish in time, in theory, for this attack that's coming. But this attack will have Reavers with it, which is obviously pretty scary.
I'm curious to see if he goes into Ultras once again. Well, with him investing in melee upgrades, I think that might be on the cards here in the near future. As TT1 will be trying to break the natural here. There's 6 Sunkens, but if he commits a little bit too far, the Lings are ready to close the gap there and surround the units of that Protoss player. The Dragoons do bug out a little bit on the Sunkens. The Reaver only now coming into play as TT1 does get his reinforcements cut off by the Lings. There's still no third base for our Canadian player, so his eco is going to suffer in the near future if he doesn't secure that base. 5 Dragoons getting picked off for free here as the Lings do close the distance on top of the army of our Protoss player.
Now there's a Reaver back at home, so these Lings are going to blow up. And on the other side of the map, I mean, this Reaver is able to hit 2 Sunkens at a time. Love these single Hydras coming in.
Yeah, but the problem is these Dragoons have very little support. If you look at this army, there's only like 4 Zealots here to try and tank the damage. And once again, Dragoons do deal a lot of damage, but they take it just as quickly. So if the Lings do turn around, these Dragoons could be in hot water.
Oh no, he moved the Reaver too far forward. It was taking Sunken hits, and so now it actually has just a few more hits left on it. But the Sunkens will go down. Let's see if he can target the Reaver or the Lurker in time. He cannot. Has to kill it with these Zealots, but the Zealots will be taken out, and the Lings getting good surrounds on the Dragoons on the ground. Dragoons, not how you beat Cracklings, but there are actually a surprising number with more reinforcements coming in. So once again, Avi is stuck inside his base. But he does have 4 of them, in contrast to TT1's 2, which is actually more like 1 because his main is almost mined out.
It's quite interesting to see that Avi-Love is not...
Wait, did he lose that shuttle? Wait, what? Did he die to like a Hydra shot? What? Where did that go? Did shuttles just go into like a 4th dimension? Did it fold? Did he have like...
Went back to
ice to fold back to a different place in the world? I don't... Oh, he auto-targeted with his Dragoons. Oh my god. OMG.
That's not what you want to have happen, I reckon. As now the Dragoons have very little support. It's only one Reaver dishing out damage.
I mean, one is maybe the loneliest number, but it's an okay number of Reavers to have versus Zerg.
Look at what's coming across the map from the left-hand side.
Oh, so much Zerg. Okay, a good Scarab, more lurkers coming through. The Hydras snipe the Reavers, the Cracklings killing off the Dragoons. There is an Observer, so he can target the lurkers, but there's just not enough Protoss here. Or is there?
I mean, pure Dragoon isn't going to work. He's got no AoE left. He's got the first High Templar now joining the fray, but they don't have enough energy for Storm. And Avi-Love is macroing up on 4 bases. The third one only just now being finished here for TT1.
How is he losing with 7 gateways? I thought that was the chosen number.
I don't know.
Hey, we are getting a 3rd base, okay? So if that comes up and we get a Reaver there and Santa is real, we can maybe hold on in this game. Otherwise, 4 bases worth of Cracklings are going to run right up the ramp into the 3rd base and kill it. There you go. There's my family-friendly analysis.
So we're only just now seeing Avi-Love add Hive Tech here, or I mean Hive units with a Defiler Mound on the way. Now he did go for Cracklings quite early on as the Hive finished. So I'm really liking this new approach of just basically not being as greedy as possible in any shape or form, because it's clearly working out, right? He's not dead yet. It's been 60 minutes. He's on 4 bases. He's got a very healthy economy.
You ready for this Munitech switch?
It's not coming. He's going
it's
to
literally at the
Spire.
6. Why don't you scroll down to the 6 o'clock location?
Oh, look at that. A bunch of mutas. Yeah,
hey, there you go.
He's going into Guardians. He's got a Greater Spire in the way. Is he overestimating his lead here? There's only 2 lurkers holding the line at the natural. One of them gets picked on. The other one follows suit very quickly as Avi-Love is looking to apply a bit of pressure of his own. Jumping on top of the 3rd base, and TT1 does double back to try and save his economy. The Nexus is under fire.
I love how he split the Zerglings into all 4 corners of that Reaver. That's like I don't know. It's very, very effective, kills the base, and with that base going down, there's basically nothing to keep TT1 building units. He's got like 2 mineral patches in his main, metaphorically speaking, and pulling back the Protoss units gave him enough time to build a couple of Sunkens, but actually he does only have 2, it's like 2.5 Sunkens at its natural, but now there's more Lings being produced, and so he shouldn't be able to break here.
I mean, even if he does, he's only got like 1 base worth of economy. The Mutants are now coming closer to the natural. They're probably going to morph into Guardians in a moment, as we do have a Dark Swall coming in the natural to try and save those units from the Dragoon fire. And yeah, I think Avi-Love has covered all his bases as well as he could have. More Dark Swarm coming in, as the Guardians are now morphing as the 6 o'clock around the natural of our Protoss player.
Yeah, this is not going to be good. I have a feeling we are about to be moving on to the next game. I mean, I don't see any way that TT1 wins this. He's got, let's see, what did he have to shoot up? He's got maybe 7 Dragoons and 3 Archons, and the Guardians are out. And so is TT1 of this game. He is almost out of it.
Well, he's still got a strong standing army there with those Zealots and the Archons.
He has no money. Yeah, there it is. GG. TT1 out of here, and Avi-Love survives to make it to a game number 4. Now, yesterday, we had an incredible reverse sweep by Dandy, able to take out Eon Zerg. Really surprisingly, really kind of back and forth series. Well, I guess it was back and then forth. So are we going to see the same thing today, Ziggy?
I think that the ball was genuinely in Avi-Love's court here, because TT1 basically played this very same build he went for in game number 1 and 2. And, you know, if it works, right, if it ain't broke, why fix it? So I'm really quite curious to see how TT1 now adjusts his play, knowing that Avi-Love quite accordingly adjusted his own play to basically not die to that 7 gateway pressure. I don't know. I don't think we're going to. I'm holding out hope. I'm still sticking to my prediction that TT1 comes out on top in this series. We might be going into game number 5, but I still think he's good. He's good to go. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see if you are correct as we get into game number 4. This is going to be on Quintessence, and if I have ever seen a TT1 map, it's Quintessence. Okay, that and Luna, and what's the other one? What's the one with the lurker eggs that he wins every game on by 12 nexing? I can't remember. It was some stupid STPL map, but yeah, this is weird. Nobody knows what to do on this map. It's like, what is this map like? Is it like 5-player fighting spirit? No, not really. Oh, triathlon. Yeah, there you go.
Triathlon.
This is not like triathlon in any way. All I'm trying to say is it's weird and nobody knows what to do. So I'm excited. This is like the 3rd time I've ever seen this map played. So, you ready, Ziggy?
I'm as ready as can be, Rapid.
Okay, let's do it. Let's get into game number 4 and see if TT1 can close it out or if Avi can keep the comeback alive. All right, here we go in the, what are we calling that? 10 o'clock location. Upper left-hand side. What are even the bases at? I don't even know the clock locations for this map. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to call that upper left-hand corner. In the black playing Zerg, it's Avi-Love.
Hugging the bottom left part of the map, spawning as the orange Protoss, representing Canada, is TT1.
Okay, so Quintessence. This map is a little bit weird. If you've never seen it before, I don't blame you. If you never see it again, also, I don't blame you. It's got the big center base that's, you know, classic for big 4-player maps. But this map actually plays a little bit more like a 3-player map than it does anything else, because you have the potential to spawn, I mean, basically equidistant, but because it's 5, you can actually spawn really close to your opponent. That's kind of what's happened this game, as they are both as close as possible on the left-hand side.
I think that if you were to go for a Forge Fast Expand, this would be the map to go for that build. But it looks like, yeah, I think so. But, you know, we don't see a Forge being planted out just yet. So this could be just a straight Nexus first here for TT1. It's looking like a Nexus first.
Yeah, no, okay, did I not say? So this is, somebody mentioned the map name. I thought, was it Triathlon? Triathlon. I think it was. But anyway, TT1 finds the weirdest ways to make 12th next work. I think it's absolute garbage. If this works, it's not because you're good, it's because your opponent is not good. Maybe that's the statement we're trying to make here. He gets scouted instantaneously. Well, not instantaneous, but yeah, I do think he is absolutely dead.
That was off an overpool opening.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's so good about the overpool is it's fat. It gives you lings fast enough to keep you safe and also to punish your opponent for going for builds like this.
That was basically as greedy a game as TT1 could have gone for. It's planning down the Nexus, the cannon, but the lings are basically at his doorstep. I mean, it's all going to be down to the micro and how many probes he ends up losing. He's just pulled 6, 7 drone probes as the lings do close the distance, jumping onto the army. Well, if you want to call it an army for our Protoss player, there's more and more drones.
Look, okay, probes are good. Ziggy, are they this good? Survey says so. No, the probes are not good enough. Nope.
He didn't even get a single shot off with that cannon.
Damn, the comeback is real. Somebody sold odds for this series. I know it. If you can tell me where that is, we'll have a brief commercial break while I bet on that. But no, all seriousness aside, this is what's the word for this series? How would you describe this series, Ziggy?
It was looking to be, you know, pretty cool, but you know, a damp squib is, having seen that game on Quintessence, you know, is getting downgraded definitely.
Look, okay. On the upside, we don't have to watch a game be played on Quintessence. I mean, look, I actually really love some, like, you know, creativity on some creative maps. Creative is the word we use for terrible. But the I don't know. I don't think that 12 Nex is a good build to try on wacky maps like that. I mean, there is the chance that you can spawn farther away from your opponent than ever before, or you can spawn right next to him and get 9 pools. So
yeah, all of these tournament organizers going out of their way to include these wonky maps in their
tournament
map
organizers killing.
And this is what they get for their efforts. 3-minute games with the Nexus first against Overpool.
Hey, at least we have a ladder in matchmaking, so, you know, don't kick a gift horse in the mouth, Ziggy. So let's get into the next game. This is game number 5. What? Are we going to see another reverse sweep, Ziggy?
You know, I'm losing hope, but I still think TT1 has a chance of coming out ahead here in this series. I mean, he showed that he plays a really strong mid-game to late game with those, you know, gateway pressure-oriented builds on Gladiator and Neo Transistor. I mean, the ball is once again in his court now. He needs to adjust his play. Avi-Love has responded accordingly on Neo Silphid, and if he goes up against Gateway Man again, I think he could just as well come out on top here with a reverse sweep.
Okay, well, let's get into our final game of our first series of the night. It's going to be on clay fields between Avi-Love and TT1. All right, here we go in the upper left-hand corner. Fighting Spirit 2.0. Just kidding, it's clay fields. But this is our Black Zerg player, Avi-Love.
And his opponent in the top right, as the greyish Protoss, he's TT1.
Okay, all right. Hey, they're not cross spawns. I don't think we're going to see another 12 Nexus. So I'm checking off the good things on our list here. But I wouldn't be surprised if Avi went for another 9 pool. Definitely seems like early aggression is something that's going to be a good idea. At the very least, you stop these like crazy gateway plays that TT1's been trying. But I just want to see, dare I say, a macro game between these guys. I mean, I feel like we got a macro game in like game 1, but I don't know. That was not really a macro game. That was like a series of aggressive short games, like piled end to end, concatenated, juxtaposed against each other.
We got one on Neo Silphid though. That was a macro game.
Yeah. Okay.
Decent. You know.
Yeah. I mean, okay.
From Avi's standpoint, it looked like a macro game. With, you know,
look, I'll take what I can get. All right.
Okay. So it looks like TT1 is going to stick to his tried and trusted gateway opening. He has confirmed that his opponent is most likely not in the bottom right because he would have run across or come across the Overlord, try and scout. And yeah, we'll see. It's once again going to be an 11 hatch for Avi. So it's slightly more macro-oriented opening than the overpool he went for on Quintessence.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's absolutely okay. I mean, like I said, this is, for all intents and purposes, Fighting Spirit 2.0. Obviously, it's just a comparison. The biggest thing about clay fields are these high grounds that are kind of situated outside of the natural expansion between that and the third. And that can be really interesting. Like if you fast push siege tanks up there or something like that, you can also use it to put hydras or lurkers on right outside of players' bases. And Gives you an extra little staging ground there. So let's see what happens now that TT1 can scout not only the natural timing, but can also get into the main. See what's going on there. He's going to see the spawning pool about to pop and reveal that he has been duped. Aha. Or perhaps this is just playing into TT1's gateway man hands.
So again, is TT1 going to go for that gateway build? Because I feel like it's the onus is on him to try and adjust his play now. And I really wouldn't mind him going for a Stargate opening. Maybe, since it's game number 5 and he hasn't shown this kind of build just yet, maybe he goes for a 2 Stargate build. What do you think? Do you think it can work? It's a large map.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, especially given that TT1 loves to stay on 2 bases for just a while. 2 Stargates, especially if you pool those Corsairs, you can bust out and really get a lot of damage done. But I feel like you have to have, just like if you go mutas in ZvP, you got to have the conditions have to be right, okay? And one of the biggest conditions for 2-star court is that you don't get scouted, because obviously at that point, they are somewhat less effective. But if you go unscouted, they can really, really do a lot of damage. Although I wouldn't say that TT1 is a 2-star port player. Then again, I'm, not really sure what kind of player to say that TT1 is. So there you go.
He's definitely quite creative. He did go for that carrier build in one of the PvPs. We did see Air on.
Yeah, you're right.
It really stuck in my mind.
Yeah. Ugh. I mean, Rain's done that too, and I'm just like, okay, well,
there's quite a large gap between TT1. And Rain.
Yeah. Look, so if they both agree it's good, I'd say that instead of that meaning that it's good, I'd say it's great on both ends of the spectrum. If you catch my drift. But yeah, I don't know exactly what to expect from TT1. I guess maybe the closest thing we get is Gateway Man. But after that not the last game, but game 3, the real pivot point of this series, I don't know if TT1 is just going to rely on his ability to count to 7 to win in games anymore.
Yeah. The onus is definitely on him to try and switch things up, as Avi, once again, did manage to adjust his gameplay in game number 3. And it could have just as well been the turning point you're speaking of, as the series is obviously tied up, and the winner of this is going to go into the round of 4. So, a high-stakes game, as you would expect in the BSL. And we do have it's a gateway. I was really looking if it could be a Stargate, but it looks like TT1 is going to once again stick to his tried and trusted gateway style. Yeah. With a Citadel of Adun on the way again.
I really like the second cannon coming up. That's the respect cannon here. And not something that Protoss players are known for having too much of, but I absolutely fine there. I think he actually has, no, it's an extra pylon behind it. I thought he was throwing up a third cannon. Whoa, okay. But yeah, second cannon, keeping safe and warm against the cold, dark Zerg Knight out there. And he is going for that Manlot style again. I think one of the very, very, very first games I ever watched was Reach running across the map with 9+1 speed lots. And I'm just like, oh my God, what a legend. And then he does it again and again and again and keeps winning games. I'm like, wow. Look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I would say these are young adult lots from Avi-Love.
The commitment so far isn't as heavy as it was in game number 1 and 2 and 3, because he's only got 2 gateways currently producing zealots and 2 more on the way. Mm-hmm. And he's already going into Dragoon range. So this is already a bit of a switcheroo here, as the zealots head on over towards the 3rd base. They do manage to pick up a bunch of links for dirt cheap, as none of the zealots did fall there.
Yeah, you're not mistaken. Look, the zealots putting on pressure. It's kind of like when you push out with your Marines. You're trying to force sunken. Same thing with zealots, and he forced out 8 sunkens last time. That's crazy numbers. And so maybe he's looking to try to do that again. He's at least forced out 4, which I think is kind of the magic number for now until we get that big gateway explosion.
Yeah, damage can be dealt in 2 ways. It can be direct and indirect. And just by moving out and showing that you're capable of pressuring in with those 6 zealots is going to force your opponent's economy to take a bit of a hit. because instead of building drones, you are forced to make lings, you're forced to make Sunkens. So definitely a call for move out there by TT1, as he's going to lose one Dragoon. Might miss Micro. The other one is in peril as well.
Yeah, it's gonna get surrounded, but the Zealots are here. Can he save the Dragoon?
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. So this Overlord, not fine, will go down here. The Zerglings all die, and I think it's time. We're going for it. Let's see.
7 gateways.
Yeah, we're on 7 gateways, and we're pushing out across the map. We're gonna have Dragoon range done by the time this hits. And let's see if these Sunkens can get up in time. They're morphing 2 extra creep colonies, 3 extra creep colonies. And it looks like they are going to start their morphs into Sunkens. Very, very scary moment, because there's only a handful of lings. Actually, there are a couple of Hydras behind here. So let's see if TT1 can bust in here. He's got some idle Zealots back in the back here. These Zealots are not actually being very effective. He's trying to target down the Sunkens, but more are popping as soon as he takes out the ones that were already there. The Zergling count is catastrophically low, but so is the Zealot count as they get thinned out. Looks like Avi will hold his natural against TT1.
Yeah, it looked like a completely botched attack there, as TT1's army wasn't really being utilized the way it probably could have been, as we do have Lings now checking the third base of our Canadian Protoss, making sure that this is indeed a very heavy commitment to this gateway style, with no more eco being on the cards here for TT1. As round 2 has just commenced, more and more Zealots are making their way into the natural of Avi-Love, who's protecting his Sunkens really well.
Are they making their way in there? I don't know. It feels like these Zealots are trying to do the hokey pokey. They put their first leg in, and then they were like, wait a second, let me just like shake it all about outside.
Yeah, they tried to put their left foot in, and they just tipped over. It just didn't work.
Terrible.
Completely didn't work, as the Zealots have just been pushed back. I mean, he's going for more and more upgrades, right? +1 attack is done. I don't necessarily understand him going for +1 armor here, as opposed to like going for +2 attack. I think, you know, going for those attack upgrades would have been the better call for TT1.
Yeah, exactly. I almost never see Protoss get the +1 armor, because usually, like, you know, +3 Zealots just kill things, which is kind of their job. I mean, the Zealots already never die. You don't need to make them never die anymore. What are you trying to do? Get them in Jaedong's clan? Like, okay, here we go. We're pushing forward with these high grounds, whether they're outside the mains and naturals or this one in the middle, proving to be maybe not the place to attack as TT1. And he is going to head back home, because he just does not have a lot, which is kind of an uncharacteristic thing to say about TT1, because usually he just has a lot of stuff. But this time he's gotten faster Reavers, and I think this is going to be really, really crucial to being able to take out all this Zerg that's assaulting the third base.
Yeah, it looks like we're going for round number 3 here, as TT1 is moving out to try and apply a bit of pressure, but he needs to watch out as the Lings do find the Dragoon reinforcements, and he is going to cut this attack off or not as he moves back. Yeah, I don't think engaging here would be the right option, or would be the right choice. Oh, half the army is engaging with a Protoss.
Yeah, a little bit piecemeal there, and now Zerg just splitting everything all over everywhere. But I mean, kind of mission accomplished in that, you know, there's no third Nexus yet. So as long as that's the case, you're feeling good as a Zerg player.
I don't think TT1 necessarily cares about taking a third base here. He's really doubling down on this attack. He's got more and more Dragoons being queued up. He's going for shields here. He's got +1 shields.
He doesn't
have a Templar Archives.
Wow, did he really just never go Templar? I mean, look, sometimes this is all you need. It is Dragoon Reaver, so thanks to Ariador pointing out that would be a better situation to get shields in. And they are complete, so now he's actually getting plasma shields here. Or armor, that's what I meant to say earlier. Now he's getting shields. He does have that that Reaver to start sieging down the outside, but look at how many Sunkens are at the natural here. Look, when TT1 wants to kill a base, he picks only that base. No other base will do.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, these Reavers are going to break through the defense, but the question is, how long is this going to take? Is Avi going to have some more tech to try and defend with, or is this going to be just basically pure Ling and Hydra? Looks like TT1 is pulling the trigger.
Did he cancel that Carapace upgrade on the Evo? I didn't actually see if he did or not, but it did finish. Okay, wow, that was actually immaculate timing. The Hydra's in a great spot to defend against all of that. The Zealot's going down, but the Reaver abides. So let's see if he can jump onto it and snipe it. And let's see if TT1 can avoid sniping his own shuttle. He picks up the Reaver.
Oh.
The drop on the Reaver is impeccable. He's going to save it by microing it backwards. It gets focused down, targeted by the Hydras, and now it's just gateway units left.
Now there's one more slowly crawling across the map.
Oh my god. Is that a slow Reaver? Did it really crawl all the way there?
Yep.
What a god. Okay. All right. So we're back with a Reaver again. We can continue the assault, or can we? Because
This
I don't
Reaver
know
is
if
a
this
man of focus. Or a Reaver of focus.
a man of
it is.
singular purpose for sure.
Yeah.
But this is pretty all in from TT1. He's got to do it now. So let's see if he can keep the Reaver alive. The Zerglings running around behind. They snipe the Reaver. Avi-Love is doing it. He's got Zerglings and Hydras on top of these very vulnerable Dragoons. And even with 1-1, I don't know if this is going to do it. No matter how many observers you have, they don't kill anything. And everything that Avi-Love does.
I think he's done it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a third base being already mined for TT1, so you know there's still a sliver of hope for our Canadian player. He's got one Reaver trying to hold the line here. Looks like Avi-Love is going to think better of attacking for the time being.
I mean, if TT1 can get this third base up, then we can see perhaps a transition. But it's a little bit more complicated than that, because now not only does your opponent have, you know, some sufficient defense, now they've also got a gigantinormous army here. And even though TT1 is doing a good job with his macro, his economy is going to take a hit until this third base really kicks in, especially on that gas geyser, which is not mining anything right now. Although I guess he's on like 700 gas, so maybe not so necessary.
Yeah, the Templar Archives have just finished, so we do need to see that +2 attack queued up ASAP. Well, you don't want to get behind on upgrades, right? There we go. We've got that forward spinning. So TT1 realizing that +2 attack is definitely required, or is going to be required, if he wishes to stay alive or stay afloat in this game. More and more gateways going up. Not really a big surprise. 9 gateways worth of production here for our Canadian Protoss.
Yeah, I mean, look, Protoss units scale pretty well, especially Reavers. So if you're trying to do it with like mass cracklings, like Avi tried in that last couple of games ago, maybe not going to work so well against all this Reaver tech. But we've finally built a Templar archive, Ziggy. Imagine that. 15 minutes into the game, we found out how to build these guys.
I think the onus here is on Avi-Love to try and buy himself a little bit of time, because even though he's got a massive army, it's a very basic composition, right? Basically pure Ling Hydra, no Lurker, no Defiler support. Finally, we do see those Scorpion-like Defilers in the natural gathering energy. So this army is going to get a bit of a boon here in the coming seconds, I suppose, as TT1 is moving across the map. He's got 2 Reavers loaded up into the Shuttle 1, Archon also at the back of this army.
Yeah, and he's past the point of no return. We're doing it now. And I mean, there is Swarm out, but there's 2 Reavers. Let's see if we can save the shuttle. He does, drops the back Reaver. Shuttle too low to pick these Reavers up anymore, but the Reavers are too far back to deal damage. So maybe mission accomplished. Busting through the Dark Swarm at the front, but here we go. We got more. Oh, okay, I thought those were drop overlords, but just needs detection now. Oh, the shuttle gets picked off with a Reaver inside, and the Reaver on the ground gets picked off too, so the Hydra flank, very effective, but is there enough Zerg here? Defender's advantage is a real thing here for Avi, and maybe he can produce enough, but Defiler's getting sniped without casting spells, and Zealots controlling the ramp here. This looks like Avi, or that TT1 has finally busted this natural. Or maybe not.
Avi really scrambling to defend here. More Dark Swarm coming in to try and protect these Lings and Hydras from getting picked off by the Dragoons. But guess what? Dark Swarm, Zealots and Archons don't necessarily care about that spell too much.
Dark Templar as well being mixed in here for terrible damage. And let me say that sentence again for reals this time. And now finally, TT1 has busted the natural, and I mean, this is quite a bit of damage. Now, I mean, look, he mined that natural expansion had a good long life, okay? He mined a bunch from it, but still, You kind of need that. And while, yes, Avi is expanding again down south, I mean, this is still quite a bit of damage from TT1. And look, just because TT1 kills the main base once does not mean it's over. He has to kill a few more before the game ends, but this is quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, pure pandemonium in the main base of our Zerg player as TT1 is jumping on top of the production facilities here for Avi.
Did these Zerglings have Adrenal? I don't think so. I don't. Oh my God! You remember? Actually, there was another game earlier. I think in round of 16 where Avi-Love forgot Adrenal too.
No, they don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually, as a suggestion, maybe that's worth getting. But I guess we'll find out as the game continues. Currently, there are no Zerglings here, so maybe, you know, if you have no Zerglings, why research Adrenal, right?
Yeah, it might be a little too late to get that upgrade, as the Hive is now getting jumped on by TT1, who somehow, someway managed to claw his way back into this game after that first attack, completely botched. He's still alive and he's actually winning this game. He's got his third base up and mining fourth base on the way, looking to take his fifth probably in the very near future as well. He's got full control here of Clayfields, as Avi is scrambling to try and take control of that bottom left-hand corner. He's now slowly but surely rebuilding his tech, halfway done. And this isn't a sentence you want to hear. And it's been 19 minutes.
Oh my God, I watched the storm drop. Look at all the dead drones. No. Well, now that takes us to 22 drones for Avi, which is actually surprisingly a lower number of workers than TT1, who broke his previous record of 40 probes and is now at 43 probes and promises to not make any more. So, look, he's actually expanding to a fourth base, now a fifth base actually on the way with mass cannons, reavers. Oh my, good luck busting that. Even though there's a nice plague on TT1's army, there's plenty more where that came from. And there's not plenty more of what Avi has to offer down here at the 7 o'clock, which is going to get killed before it's really even effective.
I think we're just waiting for Avi to come to terms with the reality of things. He played, you know, a really good series, especially on that, especially that game on Neo Sylphid, giving TT1 a run for his money. But I don't see him getting back up on his feet here in Clayfields, as TT1 is once again closing the distance. The third base is going to get focused down by the Zealots. The fourth base here might survive for a little bit longer. But what kind of life is it going to be?
Yeah, it's like, well, technically, yes, you are alive, but how alive are you really? You know, it's not looking good for our Danish superstar here. Let's see if he finally. I guess, did he ever get Adrenal? I think those were Adrenalings, right? No, no.
I don't know.
No, I think
we'll have
not.
to wait and see.
Does he even have a hive anymore?
No, he doesn't.
Okay, well, I guess that answers my question.
He's got a Defiler mound, so I guess that's something. I mean, look, TT1 is looking to take his opponent's natural, so that is, you know, I think at this point you kind of know that the Zerg doesn't have a chance of coming back here. He's doing his best, sending Lings out to try and find some stray bases for TT1, but at the end of the day, what kind of a life is this on two bases? He's slowly but surely running out of minerals in the natural there, or whatever you want to refer to it as.
Yeah, both players are pretty low on minerals, to be honest. But I mean, TT1 just expanded again, so obviously he's has a much better economy. So TT1's killing it this game. I mean, it might take him a little bit to kind of. This is a Zerg version of like floating your buildings to the corners of the map. Okay, like. He is technically able to still do things. He actually did kill a bunch of pylons and cannons there at his old natural expansion. But I think TT1 is just kind of waxing on, waxing off, kind of playing.
Got a storm drop coming into the bottom left.
And
there's no defense. Yep.
Ooh, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Mein Gott im Himmel, what are you doing? Wow, okay, now we're down to 25 drones.
He still has one more storm in that shuttle, by the way.
Does he?
Oh, it's down to 1 HP.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. How did that live? There's no justice in this world. Finally, instead of TT1 leaving Avi's units at 1 health, Avi is leaving TT1's units at 1 health.
Yeah, we're just waiting for Avi-Love to tap out at this point, I think. I mean, he's still got a healthy supply, relatively, considering how much damage he's taken this game. He's down to 77. But I don't think the tech is there. Considering how much money Probe has, or TT1 has access to, he's up to 185 supply.
Wait, no. I'm pretty sure the replay is broken. There's no way he has 180. Or also the resources are really weird. Yeah, I think the game's actually just okay. We're gonna start for 22 minutes again, guys. Whoops, sorry, I apologize so much. How dare I break that replay? Oops. Okay, we're not spoiling the end, we're just picking it back up from 22 minutes. Let me go ahead and join that replay again.
So many technical difficulties over the weekend.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, at least I can join games again, right? You gotta take the little things, or take what you can get. It's the little things that matter. Oof.
Take what you can
anyway,
get,
let's see, it is a brisk 4 a.m. here. It is snowing outside, actually, which is my interesting Korea anecdote for the day.
It snowed here for 1 day, but now it's like 12 degrees.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like already above freezing again, and I'm pretty sure it stopped snowing too. So
I just walk around in my shorts right now.
Okay, so I think we're ready to go. We're gonna resume from about 22 minutes in. You might remember this. We'll do a quick recap for continuity's sake, but here we go. Hold on. Wait, are we lagging like super hard here? Okay, there's the latency. Okay, I think we're good. But anyway, so this is back when the Lings went to the upper left, killed a bunch of cannons and pylons, and TT1 is now going over to attack. I thought the gas number was bugged for Avi, but looks like he actually just can't build.
Literally can't spend it, yeah.
Yeah, because he has no minerals, so those are maybe a little more important.
We're just playing a game of whack-a-mole here with TT, or maybe not whack-a-mole, but a game of tag as he's chasing this one group of Lings. Another one does make it out of the main base of Avi, so this game might go on for a little bit longer. But yeah, even though TT1's lead isn't as big as it was in the bug replay, where he was up to like 190 supply.
Yeah, turns out even in the unbugged replay, the shuttle still gets away with 1 HP after killing all the drones.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about that one. And he's still got that High Templar in it. And there's another Storm Drop coming in to the natural. It's at the 9 o'clock position. Got 2 High Templar loaded up. And I don't think Avi is ready.
Well, he is transferring drones.
He's going into the main base as well at the same time.
Oh my god. Okay, we're going to double Storm Drop here. Here we go. Oh my god. That's 14 kills on the main base High Templar.
One more.
Yeah, let's see what. Oh my god. Avi are trying to deal with the forces in the middle of the map at the same time. Here we go.
Ooh. Look at how many drones there are. Like 2 control groups.
Oh my god. Ooh. Actually, surprisingly, saves most of those drones. Another storm actually will kill off some of the Hydras that came in too. Oh no! Oh my god! He didn't have any energy in the main. The transfer of drones would have been catastrophic.
Yeah, but he found 10 drones worth of damage, and Avi is down to 15 right now.
Hey, 18. Okay, look. He did just pop a few more drones, but if he's building only drones, he can't be building units to do anything else. And TT1 is maxed out. Still only 2-on-1 on upgrades, but he's about to finish +2 weapons finally, or plus 3, I guess that is. Yeah.
I mean, there's not much to be said about this game anymore, I don't think. We've got a bunch of lurkers and a defiler trying to hold off 200 supply worth of Protoss units. Well, there's actually a bunch more lurkers, but guess what? These zealots and these archers don't necessarily care about that too much.
Hey, the defiler cast Darkstorm. That's going to save us, right? Maybe not. He does have quite a few defilers because he had a billion gas, but yeah, Archon Zealot DT is going to run right through that. And I mean, I think the biggest thing is that TT1 doesn't really need to do anything. He can take every other base on the map, get a million billion upgrades, go carriers if he wants. Like, there's no rules anymore. If you look at TT1's natural, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Archons with the Reaver.
Just chilling.
Yeah. Why would he attack with those units? Those are defensive units.
Just using half his power. It's like the Shaggy meme where he was using 1 point of his full power. Never mind.
I
It
thought
was a
the
bad
Shaggy
reference.
it wasn't me. Oh, we're storm dropping again.
Oh, the main base is dry of drones. No drones left.
Drones left, and they're mining off of 2 mineral patches. So, look, as unsuccessful as
he's going into
TT1
the natural now with a drop.
Do we have enough energy even?
I think
he's
so.
trying to force.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he does. Okay, he kills like 2 drones with that. Nice. But anyway, it's mission accomplished basically. Like, you can't mine, can't attack. Like, it's like maxed out to 60 supply. So, you know, we're going back in again. Oh, are we gonna get him? We gonna get him this time? No, we're not.
There's only 1 drone to be killed in the main base, so I don't really think you waste the storm on that. Although
he did kill 4 more.
Oh, the main base. Oh.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now we're just gonna morph an Archon probably. Oh, he actually does drop that last storm. Almost storms his own shuttle. But look, eventually, we are gonna end this game. Once again,
hopefully,
I will have to invoke my caster powers to force this game to end, guys.
TT1 is currently quadrupling his opponent in supply. It's 191 to 49.
Oof.
That's a big oof.
Yes, for sure. He's also killing defilers with zealots, so nice. And finally, I believe. All right. I'm giving until a count of 10 to end this game. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
How do you hype this up? How do you hype this up as a caster?
I'm just gonna stop counting at this point. Look, I'm gonna. Oh, there we go. GG, well played. Avi taps out, and TT1 prevents the second reverse sweep of our round of 8 of BSL Season 8, narrowly advancing on to his highest placing finish ever, or his highest placement ever, advancing on to the the semifinals of BSL